Hi and welcome to my channel. As anyone knows, my name is Big Al and I am going to talk today about the differences between eBay, Vinted and Amazon. Now, a lot of people keep asking me about this and I've never really done a video about the comparisons of who is the best when it comes to this. Now, the good news is that I've only really found out about Vinted this last 3 weeks, and at its current rate of investment and listings that I have done, I have found that Vinted is actually coming out on top. Now, I never thought I'd say that, but it was eBay who had forced my hand to go to Vinted. Vinted are the reasons why eBay are failing. We have been with eBay for about 24 years now, and in that time, I've constantly had the issue with eBay forcing so much regulation, so much policy, so much anxiety in doing business. We've never had it easy with eBay. eBay seem to always want to stick the knife. And they don't realize, I don't think they actually realize. I think they're really top. Hi, sorry to interrupt you, but most of you who are watching aren't subscribed to my channel. Please like, subscribe, and click the alert button. They're really top in what they do, but they cause so much stress and anxiety through scamming awareness, through clawbacks, through policies on Veros, constant nonsense that we get through eBay. And now, because of this, people are leaving the platform. And that includes me. eBay has been one of my biggest sellers. I tell you now, if I had to calculate how much I have made over the years, I would say easily I've made a couple of £1 million of turnover with them. But that's gone, and them days are away, and sales are continually declining. We were doing an average of between 15 and 20,000 pound a week only last year, and I'll be damned if I can push between 9 and 12 now. And it hasn't changed. For the last 4 to 5 months, it hasn't changed. We've had to pay off 3 staff as a consequence of it. It's not being helped by the fact that they jump on every single EU policy and find ways of damaging or punishing the seller for policies that are put out throughout Europe or policies that are put out throughout UK. We've had so many issues with eBay and the way things have gone. And they never reached out to me. I'm coming close to 20,000 subscribers with millions and millions of views. And eBay haven't even had the desire to shout out to me. Why? I feel that they're not really remotely interested in Northern Ireland, because if you see some of their policies that they produced, the policies are absolutely phenomenally damaging for us in Northern Ireland. And I found that the damage they've caused our company due to the fact that they continually contrive this policy division, this policy creation, and having to comply with every document to its letter, whereas Amazon and Vinted seem to comply with it, but in a very loose way, allowing that if prosecution comes, then that's your own doing, Mr. Seller. Whereas eBay are very babysitty. They like to babysit every single little Windsor framework document that's coming in. That basically means that anyone that's sending from GB to Northern Ireland via eBay, you have to report this to Royal Mail, the couriers and HMRC. And that means everything, from business to business, from consumer to consumer. And it seems to be coming ahead and no one seems to care. Just get on with it. But it's damaging to the country and eBay are allowing it. Whereas I've noticed there's been no communication from Amazon or Vinted about this. Why? Because it just happens. Why do we have to scaremonger the sellers of GB not to send to Northern Ireland? The only thing that eBay are doing is damaging their own business. They're telling people, here, there's the problem, go with it. So we, as a consequence, only 3 weeks ago moved over to Vinted. And that's where I'm going to tell you about Vinted. Vinted have been the easiest platform for me to load our stock onto. We have found now, we've gone into, we were doing fashion, and roughly in the first week we sold 40 items. making about 500, 600 pounds. And in the second week, that's still sustaining with the listings that we're doing. So of the listings that we're doing on Vinted, so 20% of the stock has actually been sold on Vinted within 1 week. That's a great ratio, because my business plan with eBay was always 10%. I would say close to, I think it's roughly about 800, 900,000 pounds worth of stock with eBay over the channels. And it is no longer 10% that it was with eBay. I'd be damned if I even get 1% sold now of the stock that we list with eBay. It's getting tight, and I don't know how to do it. I don't know how we can move on. We've tried deal relisting, 5% ad fees, and it's just not working. Whereas with Vinted, we put it on, someone puts an offer in, it's reasonable, or we counter offer to a reasonable rate, and it sells. And that's the way sales should be. What is all this bollocks about policy, creating hassle when it doesn't have to be hassle? The listing procedure that eBay have produced is continually getting longer, to a point where it's just unviable for me to have staff to do the work. And all it's doing is allow people to work below minimum wage. It's not improving the cost per product, and there's no time and motion on it with eBay. eBay are not really thinking it through. How will this affect the seller if they have a business and they're paying staff? If you want to pay your member of staff 14, 15 pound an hour, you just can't, because currently the sales that I'm doing, if I make a sale on eBay, I'm eating into the stock to pay for the cost of the staff, because the cost of profit on eBay is much lower versus the cost of staffing. So we're not making money on the actual stock while we're selling it. Whereas with Vinted, it takes you 2 minutes to list it. My boys are getting 35 to 40 listings a day on Vinted, and the profit margins are high. So you have eBay, and then you have Vinted, and then you go back to now Amazon. When we first started with Amazon, it was great. We were doing £2,000 to £4,000 a week, but then it started going wrong 6 months into the business. We had found that if we sold an item, 6 months later, the manufacturer decided we're going to sell on eBay or on Amazon ourselves, and we're going to stop other people from selling it. So we were wiped, and we were hit with a strike of copyright, because the manufacturer decided post-list that we are breaching their regulation or their copyright or their standard. So we get slapped with strikes and then get turned off for breaching copyright. And that has been throughout on the general stock with eBay or with Amazon. And I found that Amazon are like, they give you this beautiful open field, beautiful soil, and they allow you to plant beautiful plants, beautiful crops, and you make money from these crops. And then 6 months later, they've got underground, they put a load of mines in, and they just start exploding them. And before you know it, your field is a pile of shit, and you ain't getting your money back. And this is what I found about Amazon. Amazon don't retrospectively look at when the listing came in to when a copyright was put in. You're just striked, you're slapped. It will affect your account. And because of that, I've been extremely hesitant to list any general stock on Amazon. And we started putting it on eBay. And now, because of that, so what the big brother couldn't do, the little brother eBay could do. And they're now going on Veros. They're starting to get people from manufacturers saying you can't sell stuff. We're selling things like, we get a Shein. I don't know if anyone knows Shein. We're selling Shein products, and sometimes we get Shein in the bag, brand new. We'll sell it on, and Shein now basically are looking for copyrights. They can't even afford to pay their staff minimum wage that they can afford to have eBay chase a Shein image or a Shein product and basically cut it out. We can't even put Shein on it now. So that more or less cuts that out. So we're now on Vinted with the fashion on where Amazon blew us up and destroyed us. eBay are very slapping and creating policies of GPSR, taxation, and all sorts of wonderful things that are really going to destroy or limit our business with them. Vinted themselves do have copyright theft and old things that shouldn't be doing, like stock images and that sort of stuff. However, what I found with Vinted is it's very quick to list. It's very quick to make money, and the postal cost, the onus of free postage is not on us. For years, eBay and Amazon have pushed you to believe that free postage is better, and we did for a certain degree do that. But because we're with Vinted and we're not paying for postage, the money that we make is ours, and we can afford to be more competitive. So I like the idea that if I sell this for 20 quid, that 20 quid is mine. I don't have to concern myself. I don't mind waiting. It's not cash flow's the problem. It's the fact that you're not making enough money. And I know that if I sell a coat for £20 on Vinted, that £20 comes into my account and I have no more things to pay out of it. Whereas eBay keep the money, take their bit, take punishment fees, take postal, take credit backs, take clawbacks, and you end up with £7,000 of sales and £3,000 of income. And that's where it's gone wrong for us. And I feel that eBay needs to totally obliterate it and just go the Vinted style. As a consequence, I would be a lot easier about the customer paying for postage. The returns procedure is a lot better with Vinted. I've had no returns with Vinted. Yet there's so many returns with eBay. If we sell 100 items, I know 10 of them will come back. And for what reason? I sold a toy model car and the customer claimed it was fake. And it's not fake. You don't sell fake cars. But the customer said it's a fake car because it wasn't in the box. It was sold as is, as described, not in the box. It had pictures of it. And the customer still claims it's fake. And we'll get our money. We'll get their money back. And it will create an effect for us. So eBay are becoming the old, moldy, unused brother in the box, where Amazon still fly through the rules of Amazon. You just can't put on stock that is branded now. You have to ask permission, or you buy directly from the manufacturer. And if you can get from the manufacturer, happy days, you can do it. Or you start rebranding your own stuff. Amazon have moved over to branded stock for the brander, not branded stock for the reseller. They're not interested. I feel that that's the way it is now. Arbitrage selling is dead with Amazon. And arbitrage selling is becoming dead with eBay. Whereas Vinted, Depop and Etsy are becoming the arbitrage seller. We used another place called OnBuy, but sadly they went over to subscription based, and the cost of their subscription versus, and now they want advertising costs, is unviable now. And their listing procedure and their software is terrible. So would I recommend OnBuy? No, I wouldn't recommend that you sell on OnBuy. So if you would ask me at the end of this conversation, who would the best online platform be? Wait out. I will tell you at the end. That'll keep you hooked. So in my experience, when it comes to regulation, you can't do it. You cannot over-regulate any seller. They're just going to leave, or they're not going to sell to Northern Ireland. Now, anyone that's watching this program who is living in Northern Ireland and want to know what is the reason why eBay sellers don't sell to Northern Ireland, it's eBay policy. It isn't actually European Union policy. It isn't actually UK policy or taxation or HMRC. It's the fact that eBay have scaremongered so many British sellers into not sending to Northern Ireland. And I have tried ever so hard. If you look at some of my videos on GPSR and other issues, they just scaremonger you into preventing you from selling to Northern Ireland. It feels like someone in eBay headquarters are just anti-Northern Ireland because they're not thinking about it. They're doing Scotland as well, and they're allowing people like Yodel and Every to put prices up, whereas Amazon lock a national rate into the couriers, no matter who they are, for Northern Ireland and for Scotland. So the way I see it is that Amazon, if you want and you want to sell books, that's the place to go. If you want to sell books, DVDs, videos, the old style stuff with Amazon, the traditional stuff with Amazon, go do it. There's no issues with branding. The publishers accept that Amazon sell books, and that is the place to be when it comes to books and that sort of stuff. I sell a lot of books on Amazon. eBay, we don't know where they're going. We don't know what they're up to. I cannot recommend eBay at present. OnBuy, I cannot recommend them at all I find that we're only selling 1 to 2 items a day and it barely scratches on the subscription levels. We're going to be ending that conversation with OnBuy and leaving them finally. Etsy and Depop. Yes, Etsy and Depop, they're the smaller brothers, I feel, of Vinted. Vinted have taken it over. And in that second-hand market, now to new market, now to electronics, now to other things, I would highly recommend that if you want to start your online business today, it would be Vinted. And Vinted only. You can make enough with Vinted by selling just the stuff you have on Vinted. You will get people buying from you. List. Do not fail the algorithms. I think they're very similar to eBay, where if you don't list, you won't sell. And I would feel that the business online, and I would actually recommend that if you fancy standing in front of a camera every day, Whatnot would be the new level of new marketing, new line selling. So there it is. My final judgment day, or my final judgment of if you want to sell online, you want to make money, and if you want to make up to £5,000 per month income, I would suggest Vinted first, eBay second, Amazon third, Depop fourth, and Etsy close fifth. There it is. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and click the alert button. Alan out.